It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
In the criminal justice system, sexually-based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
Story time on how my dad laced me, gave me bad drugs. Okay, so my dad was in prison. So when he was in prison, he always had a phone. So we always used to text and talk. So I started getting inappropriate videos and pictures of shit of you know what. So I ended up talking to him about the situation. He was like, nah, that was his homeboy or whatever the case may be. I was like, all right. I was like, you need to talk to him. He was like, he already did. So about a couple days later, I ended up getting another video. So when I got this video, I literally just woke up out of my sleep. I opened the video, I ran it up to my auntie. She seen the video like she snapping and shit like that. So I ended up stopped talking to my dad. So when I stopped talking to my dad, that was it. So when he got out of prison, I started receiving text messages, phone calls from unknown numbers, like people calling me that I don't even know and shit like that. They was like, hey, El wanna see you, hey, your dad wanna see you. And I'm like, nah, tell him stop giving out my number, I don't wanna see him, and nothing like that. Okay, so boom. I ain't talked to him for like 4 months straight. I ended up losing my phone. So this day I had to go to work. I ended up losing my phone, so I ended up calling him. I said, hey dad, I need a phone. He was like, all right, meet me here, cause you ain't got no phone and I don't want you to just be walking all over Miami trying to find me. So at the time he stayed in Overtown. So if y'all know where Overtown at, that's Miami. So we end up going to the plaza. And y'all from Overtown, y'all know what plaza, or being Overtown, or just from Miami, y'all know what plaza I'm talking about. So we end up going to the Metro store. He ended up getting me a phone. So I ain't talked to him. Fast forward to the day before Thanksgiving. This was in 2023. I got off of work one night. He was always coming to pick me up from the train station. So when he picked me up from the train station, we was talking and stuff like that. He was like, I already got you a joint rolled up. I was like, all right, cool. You know, cool. I ain't got to roll me up no joint. So he was like, I'm going to go to sleep because I got work in the morning, which the next day was Thanksgiving. I was like, all right. So I got to the crib, took a shower, went outside, started smoking the joint. I feel my lip getting on. Okay, I stopped smoking the joint. I went in the house, went straight to sleep. As I'm falling asleep, I'm feeling dizzy. And I'm like, damn, I never felt dizzy like this. My lips got numb. I'm like, hell no, something not right. I went to sleep. The next morning, he got up and went to work. Since it was Thanksgiving, he got off at 12. I had to go to work. I had to be to work at 3. So when he got there, me and his mom, which is my grandma, we was in the kitchen cooking and shit like that. So he was like, daughter, my dad always called me daughter. So he was like, daughter, you wanna smoke this joint before you go to work? I was like, yeah. So I hit the joint. I started feeling dizzy. Lightheaded, and nauseous. So I'm like, damn, what the fuck? So I go take me a shower. I get ready for work. I was like, hey dad, I'm ready. Can you walk me to the train station because I'm not feeling well? He was like, yeah. So remind you, I did not make it to work. I had to call out of work. As I'm walking to the train station, I started feeling hot. I started feeling even more dizzier. So I ended up going inside the corner store to, sit down. So the man was like, what's wrong with your daughter? He was like, my dad was like, I don't know. She said she not feeling good. She feeling dizzy. So it was the ice cream cooler. So I ended up opening the ice cream cooler. I put my head in there to cool off. So I started to feel cool off. I started to cool off and stuff like that. So I was like, Dad, I'm not going to work. I'm going to have to call out. So he was like, right. I'm walking home. We walking back to the crib. I'm feeling dizzier, lightheaded. And I'm telling him I'm about to pass out. And he was like, all right. So he's holding my arm because he wanted to pick me up. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I can walk. When I made it in the house, I heard my grandma was like, what's she doing back here? I thought she said she's going to work. And then my dad was like, she said that she not feeling good. She not feeling good. So she was like, okay, what's wrong? And then I was like, grandma, I'm feeling dizzy. Then she was like, you need to drink some water. So he ended up giving me a bottle of water. I ended up passing the fuck out. I fainted. So when I passed out, he ended up picking me up and putting me on the bed. Now, I remind you, my eyes shut, but I just hear everybody talking. So they was like, Lamontra, do something. She's not waking up or whatever the case may be. But then I started getting myself out of it because I felt my dad. The way how I'm on the bed, I'm hanging off the bed, but I feel him on top of me. I feel his, private part on my leg. So I'm getting up swinging and shit. He was like, oh, you swinging on me? I was like, yeah, because I don't like how you on me. Okay, boom, whatever the case may be. I ended up drinking some water, and I ended up going to sleep. This probably was like 12 something. Probably like around about 1. It was 1 because it was a holiday, and I knew that the Metro mover was going to be running slower. So this was about 1 o'clock. So I slept from 1 until about 8 o'clock that night. That night, I ended up waking up because I started hearing live music. Remind you, Thanksgiving, everybody out with their family, they jamming and stuff like that. So I went outside, and so y'all, he ended up turning my way. So once he turned my way, I'm not thinking nothing of it. You feel me? I'm not thinking, like I said, I'm not thinking that my daddy do no shit like this. So I'm hearing him like jack his dick, and then I feel him like coming up towards me. So when I realized that, I literally jumped out of bed. I ran downstairs and I ran to the church. When I ran to the church, I noticed that I didn't have my phone. So I had to go back inside the house to get my phone. So when I went inside the house, my dad ended up locking the door, and he ended up locking the room door. He didn't want me to go inside the room, or he didn't want me to go outside. So I ended up getting inside the room to get my phone. I ended up calling 911. When I called 911, it was like, they took like 25 minutes. So I ended up calling my baby daddy. I told my baby daddy what was going on. So when I called my baby daddy, told him what was going on, he ended up saying put him on speaker. I put my baby daddy on speaker, and remind you, my dad cousins is best friends with my baby daddy. So they both on the phone cussing him out, letting him know, get on that we on our way. So he ended up letting me out, and we finna continue this. So I ended up leaving. I went to my baby daddy house. Everything was fine. I was going to work. I went back to work the next day, or whatever the case may be. But I'm still feeling sick and dizzy and stuff like that. So I ended up going to the emergency room. When I went to the emergency room, they asked me what was going on. I was letting them know what was going on. So I had to take a pregnancy test. So when I took my pregnancy test, it came back that I was pregnant. So I'm letting them know that I'm feeling dizzy. I'm not feeling good. So they started doing blood work and stuff on me. So when they did my blood work, I came back with fentanyl in my system. Like, fentanyl? How I get fentanyl? And my sister, they said, yes, ma'am, you have fentanyl. So at this time, I was going through a lot of shit. So I had got admitted into the hospital. I was admitted in the hospital for like 2 weeks. I was in the hospital due to what the fuck was going on. And then not on top of that, due to all this shit, I could not pee.
The night, you know what I'm saying? I was drunk, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really, you know what I'm saying, was in my right state of mind, you know? But, shit, it is what it is. But I love you, though, you know what I'm saying? You know, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? We can talk about it and let it go, or we can just be forever. Because on how you want to do, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really on that shit. I'm just trying to get my shit together, you know?
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lip video, back in the confessional. Yes, we staying lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to my player partner, Lucky Wizard DLC, keeps it lit. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section. Hit the links down below. We got HiveMindLabs.com where you can unbig that back, okay? Alright, use the discount code everydaypj at checkout. Now let's get into the video. Ooh wee. Yo, family is yo, Pop's crackhead, crackish, on crack, doing some crack Like, come on, bro. First of all, did he smoke the weed with her? Because if he smoked it, then the dad is on the finny. Then if the dad is hitting the finny, he used to it. Because he said that sounds crackish. Okay, and your dad tried to get you lightweight hooked to it. And I wouldn't be surprised if she went chasing that high after that, because that's how crackheads get introduced with crack. They smoke with somebody. A lot of times they don't know, or a lot of times they're just curious, or it's their boyfriend or girlfriend, or they just all they friends together and they just smoking and drinking. It's like, here, hit this crack, and you cracked out. I mean, I'm just assuming. I mean, I grew up around a lot of crackheads. Like, the East Side was full of them. And my story ain't as sad as her story, but I got a crack story, okay? Now, allegedly, we was selling crack on the East Side. Me and my friend, J Style. He told me to call. I forgot to call him, but anyway. We was allegedly selling crack, and then two crackheads pulled up in like a 1989 Ford Escort. Like, that mug was shaking down the street. It was loud, and the radio, it had the turn knobs on it, and then you could just like see the green thing. I don't know why I remember this so vaguely, but I do. But anyway, when you out there like that, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it ain't all good to just walk up to cars by yourself. So you out there you gotta stay out there with your partner. Like, you gotta have somebody down with you that's gonna be outside with you. I mean, wanna be outside. So we outside, and we walk up to the car or whatever, we talking to them. And they like, man, let me get it for the 8, man. I gotta get some gas for my car. I gotta get some gas. And I'm like, nah, man, I need that old 10. So he's like, dude gave him the 8, right? And then he was like, man, come on, man. Well, let me get you 9. And he gave him $1, but then he had like 4 quarters in his hand. He was like, this is all I got left. That's all I got left. Well, we just trying to get, something on the way home. And then J Style was like, man, nah. Dude was like, all right. Just let me see it, right? So J Style, for whatever reason, had a few rocks in his hand. And he put his hand in that car and let the dude see it. The dude smacked his hand and took off. Was gone. Oh, that was hilarious. It was just like, first, like, it was like, what the fuck? They just chasing the dude down the street, but they in that car. That was loud. You could just hear him getting away. Even after they bent the corner, you could still hear him got the full throttle on that raggedy Ford Escort. But anyway, yeah, Dad seemed like he on some crackhead moves, man. You know what I'm saying? The prison thing, just, I don't know what type of family dynamics these be, but your dad in prison sending you weird stuff, and then everybody flipping out of it, but you still with around the dad. Like, that's the type of family that they overlook the foul stuff that they family do, or they family been doing. Like, they might do something at the time, but then they'll be like, oh, well, it don't matter, it's still your uncle. You got to come to the family reunion. Why he got to be there? Why he not in jail? But y'all want to protect him and type stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of family dynamic this is giving. Everyday people, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.